So it's been a minute since my last video over here, and I kind of want to fill everybody in what I'm doing. You probably saw like a random clip upload, and I wanted to start live streaming a little bit more, but also I figured out, hey, this is the formula for live streams is not doing it on YouTube. So the main channel live streams on YouTube and YouTube just in general live streams are pretty much dead in the water to me. The API hasn't really evolved in the past year. The algorithm hates live streams. Putting like an hour, 2 hour live stream is just pointless on YouTube. Other than like, there's a select few people that will watch it, but for the most part, it's not something that helps YouTube channels at all. If anything, it hurts YouTube channels, even though I love live stream. So I'm going to do it on Twitch, but I'm going to make bite-sized pieces for YouTube. So if there's something that really cool happens on a live stream, I'll make a little clip of it. And then also, like, the other thing I kind of want to show you was this right here. I'm trying to build, I want to build the perfect Linux distribution. Not like to say, hey, go download my distribution or any of that. I look at successful distributions that have mainstream adoption. That actually exists, as much as Linux people say, well, no, the year the Linux desktop hadn't happened. Really, you look at Chrome OS, which is basically Gentoo and Google's spin of it. And then you look at Steam OS, and now on the Steam Deck, I see that being a big hit with millions of people using it. And those things coupled with it tell me that Linux desktop in general has been a miss. People haven't figured out the perfect way to make it 100% stable for the masses. And really what I want to do is build what I consider the perfect desktop for me and then share that journey. And then that way you can get a better feel for it. So like on the screen here, I'm currently working on like a different package manager and how to package things up for like Debian. Because I've been working on Debian, and really what I wanted to happen, like let's do just an update of Debian. I wanted on the update process it to only grab packages from one repository, maybe two repositories. And then instead of adding a ton of repositories into apt, which will end up breaking your system. Let's be real here. Once you get 10, 20 ones, it's only a matter of time before your system breaks or something undesirable happens. And then you're like, oh, I'm in dependency hell. How do I get out of this? It can be very, very unfun. And a lot of that is from repositories. So coupling something called Nix with apt, and this is actually Nala front end to make it apt look better, but really coupling these together, I think I'm going to be able to create something kind of amazing. And then kind of taking some of the other shortcomings of the desktop. Right now, this is just my BSPWM, but I really wanted to kind of experiment with some of the other RICEs that exist. Now, most RICEs in the Linux realm come on Arch, and Arch Linux is fine and all, and that's what SteamOS is based on, but I really don't like Arch for stability in the dynamic nature of a lot of package management. I think Arch does a terrible job with package management, and it's just a recipe for disaster, especially for those that aren't skilled in package management. They'll get on the AUR, they'll install too much junk, and then it's only a matter of time before disaster strikes. Unless they're always doing backups. They're knowing and reading exactly what happens with the AUR packages they do install. And they're not installing just anything and everything. But the average user doesn't read. The average user doesn't do a lot of these things to maintain an Arch system. So that's why I'm choosing Debian for my base, and Debian mainly just because it's so widely used. I still love Fedora, but I'm switched back to Debian because I feel like I can get the perfect mix. But I want to show you this quick thing on Debian Yori. This was actually, I think, either Chinese or Japanese interface, and I thought this was kind of interesting how this is all done. And now this is an awesome window manager, not BSPWM like I like, but I like the aesthetics and how minimal and just how good this looks. So I think I'm going to take a lot of this and here, let me blow it up and kind of try to integrate the pieces of my BSPWM I like, and then see what they're doing for the aesthetics here. It may be switch to awesome, but I want to get a really good feeling OS that is ultra minimal. And that's the big thing here, is you don't need a massive desktop environment to get it where it needs to be. It's just trying to get all those tools and get that level of user friendliness is one of the biggest things that I think I struggle with, because I can make something look really awesome and make it awesome for me, but I know as soon as someone else tries to replicate what I do, it's disaster every time, because they may like a different preference than me. And that's where I want to try and kind of strike a balance here with a full-blown desktop environment and kind of what I'm really started to like, which was kind of building my own with a lot of these optimizations, and dealing with package management, and then also dealing with making it flexible, which it can all be done. Like, you look at SteamOS and how they do it, really interesting. You look at how Google does it on Chrome OS, it's also a very interesting take with how they implement Linux with LXCs and other things. That's a whole different video, but I think we can easily bring these together and really do something amazing, because I think that's where the future lies with a lot of these Linux desktop, Linux desktop in general. And that's kind of where I want to go. So a lot of times, if you want my unfiltered thoughts, that's really what this channel's for. And then obviously, like, live stream clips and other stuff I'll post over here. But if you haven't already, follow me over on Twitch. I'll stream there every once in a while if you are interested in full streams. Otherwise, if something happens in a stream, I'll try and clip it, and then I'll try and do like these maybe monthly updates on how this is going, because really kind of building out a full desktop and kind of explaining different aspects of how these are designed and built, I think is really interesting, and I can glean really neat things from specialized distros such as Chrome OS, Steam OS, but also other lesser known ones. A very interesting one was Clear Linux, and how Intel built that, and how their philosophy was behind leveraging like most of the system D services, which most distros don't leverage. And obviously, like swapd, I think, is what their package manager was. Very interesting to see all these things, but there's little bits that we can pull from each one of these that could possibly make something that's the best on the market. Just using like a vanilla Debian install and then adding these amazing advancements that very few people ever use. So that's where I'm at. I just wanted to update everybody over here. This is kind of a rambling take, but I look forward to your comments down below. I'll check in over here every week or two, and try and do a live stream about once a week. But again, I'm just going to work on video production, and then also kind of pushing along this seeing how the desktop evolves for me, because I'm really excited with a lot of the different things I'm learning. On the main channel, I'll have a video coming out real soon about power management in Linux, and how so many of them, so many distributions just get that wrong, and how I kind of control it on a lot of my laptops, to where now I prefer being in Linux compared to Windows. But designing all that is really interesting, and yeah. That's where I'll leave this one. If you like it, let me know down below. Hit the thumbs up. If you didn't, thumbs down or unsubscribe. I don't know. Whichever. Again, this is more just for fun over here. Unfiltered thoughts, and then kind of putting this new system together. Hopefully it'll make a video on the main channel, but sometimes it might be a little too complex and it'll just live here. So it just depends on how much you could absorb from YouTube, and the really overly complicated stuff a lot of times just doesn't fit on the main channel, and it'll probably remain here indefinitely. So all right, guys, take it easy. Have a good one.